Hey guys, Footy Manager TV here, and today I've got some new info on a game, AFL Live 2, which is obviously a new game coming out very, very soon. On their Facebook page, they updated it will be out on September 5th, but later they deleted that post. I'm not sure if that was just they weren't allowed to say it or something, or maybe just as a teaser for just some people to see or something. But yeah, hopefully that is the correct date. It wouldn't be too far away, less than a month, and good for me. Just a game to play a couple weeks before FIFA is actually out, so that'll be very good for me. And yeah, it's just like 3 weeks away if that is the correct date. So I'll go ahead and pre-order it later. But yeah, I just want to give you really an update. And it's really hard for me because I'm going to have subscribers that are obviously for FIFA or Football Manager. And they probably, some people might have not heard of just AFL, the sport itself. So I've got to explain it a bit to my subscribers when I actually have the game. So I've got to mix it well and then mix it. Because obviously I'll get viewers who obviously know AFL already and probably would argue they know more than me. But anyway, moving on, there's a career mode. That will be the main reason I'm doing it, because I've got subscribers from Football Manager and FIFA career mode, which is a similar mode in terms of the off-field stuff. I'll just give a quick explanation. In the previous game, AFL Live, the first edition of it, it didn't have a career mode, which really, it was really boring for me. And I'll head with some screenshots later. There's none of career mode yet. Like, hopefully there'll be a trailer or something very, very soon, especially like just only 3 weeks away. There's a new career mode has been added. Like I said, 15 years, exactly like FIFA career mode, allowing to manage players and teams from the TAC Cup. And for those people that don't know, the TAC Cup is like basically just the under 18 level. So you know that. For the people that don't, and VFL is basically like the reserves, and AFL is the main competition. The career mode, or the career manager mode, gives the player control over training, where experience and individual statistics can be gained, sponsorships, staffing, tribunal, emails, drafting and trading, all of that good stuff. So for at least comparing it to FIFA, you can't really compare it. It's very different. It's more so you would compare it to an NBA or an NFL type game because, yeah, it's very similar. And with the big things there is the drafting and trading. It will be, yeah, it's very similar. So if you enjoy the off-field stuff of an NBA game, and like the NBA careers and also NFL, I think you enjoy this as well. It's very similar. Like all the off-field stuff is similar, like I just mentioned. Obviously in football, the real football, there's no trades, obviously transfers and stuff, and there's no drafting of young players. How the draft works, and yeah, draft. If you follow NBA or NFL, you know how draft works. So it's basically like that. You get the number one picks and all that kind of thing. And yeah, that's a very interesting time as well. You got to draft through players. And yeah, there's still a lot of information. They have the features here, but I'm not yet to see. There's still a lot of things to be confirmed, pretty much. Like, you don't know too much about it. That's what I'm trying to say right now. Like, there's a career mode, but you don't know how, like, individual stuff, how in depth it is. That's what I'm talking about. Like, with drafting players, are you able to see those players play or get scout reports or something along those lines? Like, so that will be very good for me. And trading, how in depth is trading? I really want to see, like, trading is probably the biggest thing for me in an AFL career mode kind of thing, making trades for a team. So that's a big thing for me, and trading for draft picks as well. That's a big thing for me. And yeah, tribunal, obviously players can get suspended. So that's a very interesting thing. So that's pretty much it. That's all the information shown on here. I know a couple others have done this like earlier on features. Like, I'm going to be new to making AFL Live videos, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. Just, it really depends how much like comments and kind of thing, how much interaction I get with it. If not too much, I'll just go back to FIFA when it's officially out. But yeah, I didn't notice too many people do AFL Live videos. There's a couple, but there's no like a big YouTuber, like if you compare to FIFA. So that's something I'm going to try to do some FIFA videos with AFL Live as well, and see how it goes down with any new people coming to my channel, and hopefully get some more subscribers and that. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the features. And next, I'll be showing you the screenshots of this game. So this is the first screenshot I'm going to be showing. I'm not going to show all the screenshots available because I'm just going to show the ones that I think are relevant in my opinion, that I just want to explain, because like I said, people have done this already, a couple people. So yeah, I'll just explain what I think is most important in the game. So you can see here the kick in. For me, Taylor Walker there, to me, he's standing a bit close to him, but yeah, those little things I'm sure will be fixed. But you don't really, to me, in a screenshot, it looks bad, but in the game, you don't really notice as much unless it really affects the game, like where he can smother it and that kind of thing. But if he doesn't, yeah, I wouldn't notice it in the game. So that's not such a big thing for me, and other people might make a big issue of that. But for me, it's not as a big of an issue. As you can see, The wind also, that's always been in the game, so nothing really new there. The game, especially with the camera and the crowd and the grounds, it definitely looks really good to me. And yeah, that's all I have to say pretty much about this one. It's really simple. But yeah, the big thing is the camera. I really like the camera. You can see almost the whole ground compared to last year, at least on the end-to-end camera where you can see here, you couldn't really see as much. Like, it's hard to explain, but you can only see basically the left side. I suppose how big your TV is. I suppose you could argue that. But anyway, it looks like, at least for me, you can see more, which is definitely a good thing for me. And this next screenshot here, definitely something I want to talk about. The set shots, that's something that needed to be changed in my opinion. It was too easy, but still you're yet to find out. You just see how it looks in this stage where you just press B, or at least on Xbox, for the set shot. But they do need to be changed. For mine, they really needed to be. It's too easy for me. That's what I'm trying to say. Like in AFL Live, the first edition of the game, I could score a set shot basically every single time. It was way too easy. So it definitely needs to be changed. But leave your opinions. Like if you play AFL Live, leave your comments on the set shots. Do you think they were too easy? Because if you compare to real life, when a lot of the time people miss, the players miss a lot of the time, especially like main forwards who you expect to score. So for me, that has to change a little bit, and hopefully they have done that. But I suppose it's hard to find a balance in making it too hard and too easy. Obviously, you don't want to make it too hard because a lot of young kids play the game, and yeah, obviously they'll complain if they can't score. But that is realistic to real life to some players. And definitely that it should be, you should really notice the difficulty depending on the player's ability at kicking at goal. But last year, or at least in AFL Live it was released in 2011, but it was the first edition of the game, and they haven't won. This is the next game, like 2 years later. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on this screenshot. Yeah, you see that. And here, if you see on the left side where it says 22 meters and Tarrant is there, I'm not sure if that's like the player that's how far away the next player is, but I don't think when you're having a set shot at goal, I don't think that should be showing. If you're like around the ground looking for a pass or something like that, it should be there then, but I don't see, I suppose maybe it's hard to do for them. Obviously, they're not really a big company or whoever is created this game. Maybe they just couldn't be bothered to remove that for a really close shot, but for a close, just like that close shot there, I don't see why would you want to pass from there anyway. So that's just my opinion on that, because you wouldn't pass from there really that close. But yeah, that's just my opinion, and that's not even 22 meters from goal. So why would you pass backwards? So again, that's just my opinion, but I don't know. I just found that a bit strange. Around the ground, definitely, I think that's a good feature showing that. But when you're that close to goal, and pretty easy goal, you should be scoring with your eyes closed. Yeah, that should definitely not be there. But just moving on to the next screenshot right here, we've got GWS, someone from GWS. I'm not sure who that is. You can't really tell. A couple of the faces are real. Not a couple. A lot of the players' faces are real, but then there's a lot that isn't, at least from what I've noticed. So you can't really tell who it is, but anyway, taking a nice grab, and yeah, it's good to see that. Some good marks in the game, and you see no wind on that one, but again, there's nothing too much special right here, and a pretty realistic scoreline with St Kilda dominating and GWS not scoring. You can tell the difference between their teams. Obviously, for people that don't know, GWS, they're a new franchise team only created last year, so this is their second year. So they've got a lot of young players in the team. So they would be interesting, like a team like them to be for a career mode, because they've got heaps of youngsters, and it would really you could be a good strategy. Like you could trade away a lot of them for some quality players that are good enough already, because obviously they would have the potential. And that's one thing I want to see with career mode, how influence potential is. If actually players have potential, like in career mode of FIFA. That's something I want to see that hasn't really been released. But if there isn't, that would be kind of boring. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, players' potential has to be realistic as well. I'm not sure if it's going to influence like their on-ground performances or whatever. If they have a hidden potential, I'm not sure, but it would be good if they have that. But again, that's something to remain to be seen. It's the first year a career mode's going to be in, but hopefully they were just waiting to get it right, and hopefully just good. But that's just like a big hope right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not too much in depth, and I would be really disappointed. And yeah, if it's not too much, like not really, really in depth, I'm probably not going to continue with the series. But if it is, if I'm really enjoying it, if it's exactly how I like, and I'm getting good comments and views and all that kind of thing, I'll definitely continue with it. Even though you probably could say FIFA is definitely more popular, but I'm going to do what I enjoy playing and what people enjoy watching as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that screenshot right here. And next up, we've got probably two of the better teams in the competition. Always going to be in contention for the finals, at least in the first couple of seasons. In career mode, they might, just going to depend on training on that. But in the first season, at least, they're going to be two teams contending for the title, or the grand final, I should say, really. I get a bit confused when I'm doing FIFA as well. But anyway, they're basically the two biggest teams. There's a couple other teams like Hawthorn, but Geelong and Sydney, they're always going to be up there, at least in the first season, like I said. So they're going to be teams to watch out for. And obviously you got Munford in the ruck there, and Chapman with his bald head. Of course, that is him. You can't. Yeah, who else is going to be for Geelong with the bald heads? And yeah, that's pretty much it on this. It's one big thing. If you see the umpire there, he's not really looking at the ball. He's just running away from the action, so I'm not too sure about that. But hopefully those little things they can fix before the release. And yeah, hopefully, because that's something disappointing. But honestly, that's something you don't really notice in a match. Obviously, in a screenshot, you notice it. But in a match, I don't notice. As long as they make the right decisions, I can't really complain pretty much. And hopefully the tackle fest is fixed as well, because there was so much tackles and that kind of thing in AFL Live, the first edition. So hopefully, you can actually have some midfield play and just pass it around and that kind of thing, because that's something I like to do. Because I really like to, because the first game, this is just my opinion, but the first game, it didn't require skill to me. It just really required who could press buttons faster. That's pretty much it. If you're good at games, not in sport games in general, like if you didn't have an AFL mind, it didn't really matter. If you're just good at games in general, like pressing buttons fast, like spamming tackle buttons, then you'll be good at the game. And bumping, bumping, that was a big thing, especially online. People just overused it, and it made it not fun. People just stood there bumping each other whoever was the fastest at pressing buttons wins. So again, that was something I didn't really like and stopped me playing from online, because the best person with most skill didn't win. And by skill, I mean, because I at least think I like to pass a lot with some good kicks and that, keep possession. Obviously, coming from playing football with FIFA, you play a possession game, and that's something I'll look to enforce in the game if it is possible. But if it's not, if it's just going to be like the similar thing again, I suppose playing offline, it won't be abused as much by the AI. But again, hopefully, it's a bit better than the last game. The tackle fest is not there, and you do actually require some skill and an AFL brain to actually play the game, and not just be spamming buttons. Like whoever presses the buttons fast wins. That's what online was basically based on last year. Whoever could press the buttons fast. And again, I don't think it should be like that. It should, again, like I said, who has the most knowledge of AFL and the skill really required to win a match of the game. But anyway, that's pretty much it for them. I'm just going to have one more screenshot. I don't want to get too much. There's some other ones, but I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, like I said, Geelong and Sydney, two of the best teams in the competition. So here is the last screenshot, something different I did want to show in so you can see how the players look. And here is the amazing player himself from my team that I support, Carlton, Chris Judd, superstar player, one of the best players in the game. Used to be the best when he was at West Coast, but obviously now he's getting older, getting injuries, and that really influenced in him not being as good anymore. But he's still at his best. Like when he was at his best, he was the best player in the game, in my opinion. Obviously now he's not really taken over like the likes of Gary Ablett's. But again, he's a really good player at his best. But in the game, he's going to be old, and I'm not sure how like the attributes are going to work, like with declining and that kind of thing. But hopefully he can have one good season. But again, he's one of the most expensive players at least for Carlton, with the salary cap. And that's another thing with the career mode, the salary cap. Hopefully you would think the salary cap will be influenced. And he's someone you got to think about, or I got to think about if I'm going to be Carlton. And there's one big reason. Of course, I'm going to be them because I support them. But also, in real life, they're not doing very good. They have a team, well, they have expectations of being in finals and even top four, you could say, because they were a couple years ago. But the thing is, their players right now aren't good enough. There's a couple players and a lot of players. There's a lot of salary cut being wasted on players that aren't in the first team right now. They're going to be, or they're playing in the reserves, and the current coach doesn't really think they're good enough for the team. So that's something I may bring them into my decisions. Just really, it depends how they're rated in the game. I'll probably just choose the best rated players, but also players that I think are good enough. So there's going to be a bit of strategy by me I have to really release a lot of players. Well, not release, trade. See, that's the difference between FIFA and obviously AFL, and then those other American games like NFL and basketball. You can't buy players with money. You got to transfer, or not. You got to trade. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you got to trade or draft young prospects in. So that's how you rebuild a team. So it's not like in FIFA where you can just have a rich team and you can buy replacements. So you got to definitely trade good. You have to have a good scouting team to find the best draft prospects. Even if if you're a good team and you're finishing in the top 8, you don't really get a high draft pick. So you got to have a good scouting team to find some good young players, and hopefully the scouting and the draft prospects it's really in depth in career mode. Hopefully it is, but I'll just leave it at this for now because I'm sure you've seen these screenshots already. I don't want this video to be in too long. It's going to 16 minutes now. So yeah, hopefully enjoy it. It'll be coming out soon, like 3 weeks or so. I'll be doing a career mode with Carlton, like I said, looking to rebuild them as they really need to do in real life. So yeah, leave your thoughts on the screenshots if you've never played AFL before, if you've never even heard of it. Oh yeah, your just general thoughts. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time for some AFL career mode footage when it's out.